Hey guys, happy Saturday to everyone. Look who I have here. I have Miss Monroe. You guys haven't seen her in quite some time. I feel like I haven't shown her in quite some time, but the weekend is here. So I wanted to, I needed some baby time. I needed my Monroe time. And so today is that day, and I figured what a great way to share her and then also have a bit of a chat topic with you guys while enjoying her. And she is still in her little onesie. Show you guys. It's her little onesie. Oh, this is just the sweetest baby. I love this baby so much, you guys. But it's very chilly here. We've got, as most people may also be getting the same storm because it's a huge storm system that's been moving across like the whole United States. So yeah, it's just been kind of yucky, ugly weather. And so she's wrapped up, and I will probably keep her wrapped up because I'm not going to put anything different on her for right now. I could have done a changing video, but I love simple basics. I really have found that I enjoy the most when my babies are in the least. It's just how my enjoyment of my dolls that I have has evolved, and yeah, and it's beautiful. You know, I don't need really fancy extra things really to enjoy my dolls, and that's really important to me because at the end of the day, like, you know, all of the stuff we get for our dolls is lovely. It's wonderful. I enjoy buying all the things, trust me, all the pretty things, because I continue to buy them. But if I were not happy with the dolls that I have, I certainly wouldn't be, I wouldn't be still with the same dolls. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And ultimately, that's leading me into this chat topic. This chat topic is you have to trust the process. And recently I've watched a couple different videos on different collectors talking about their journey thus far in the hobby and how maybe their tastes have changed, where their focus lies, trying to enjoy what they have versus constantly seeking something new. And I can totally understand that because I've been through that process. I've been through the process probably multiple times throughout my many years of collecting. So for those of you out there that don't know, most of you probably do, but I'll just reiterate to give, you know, context. I have been collecting dolls for well over 20 years. Realistic baby dolls, not just dolls. I mean, I've collected dolls of all kinds over the years as I was from a child on up to adulthood, and then discovered this amazing hobby. Gosh, was it 1999, 97, 98, 99? It's been a really long time, let's put it that way. But for me, you know, I grew with the hobby as the hobby evolved, and as artists became better artists and mediums changed, and, you know, different things were offered. And now, you know, the amount of realism that is here for us is just crazy. And that's one thing that I'll say about my journey. And I'm only speaking on my journey as it refers to how I feel about collecting, just kind of talking about my process, the process, and how I trusted the process to bring me to where I am now. Is that my goal from the moment I came into this hobby has always been to find the most ultra realistic doll, like hyper realism. That was my goal. It's always been my goal, honestly, from the beginning. And I just remember being so intrigued that a doll could look alive. And back then they certainly did not look alive. They were horrible. You know, my first reborn, I still have her. She's over there in the closet. But she's so hideously wonderful in her own way because she started my journey for me. And so I love pulling her out. I actually enjoy pulling her out and putting her next to like Monroe or next to Lola, just because it's so crazy. And I've done that in previous videos. where I have brought her and shared her and put her next to my current doll at the time. And I'm sorry, my nose itches. I don't know why, because probably our heat's blowing things around. So sorry, I keep itching my nose. But anyways, so for me, I didn't know what this hobby would bring for me. I didn't know that I would become so involved in it the way I did. I didn't know I'd get so hooked the way that I did. And certainly I never expected to last for more than 20 years in a hobby and still love it so much and enjoy it so much. My intention started out as, this is fun, this is cool. I was on a very limited income because I was a single mom. Most people see me now having a very high-end doll, having multiple high-end dolls over the years and being able to experience the best of the best, but I didn't start out that way. I just I just evolved and let it happen. And I would say that that's the best advice for those new coming into it, or, now you've been doing it for a while, but you're struggling to find what works for you or what you love. And we all get frustrated when we miss out on dolls, especially if it's like an auction or something like that. We've all been there. And for those that struggle, or those that just see the ever-changing, evolving way that they're collecting, my best advice is to just go with it. I firmly believe, and I learned this a really long time ago, that if I just trust the process to know that if it's meant to be, the doll will come home to me. If it's meant to be mine, it will be mine. If it's not, then another doll will come my way. And every single time, I'm not trying to exaggerate, but every single time I missed out on a doll, a better doll came after that I was able to bring home. And the circumstances were better. Financially, things worked out easier. Like, it has to be effortless. And the more you stress, the more you put yourself in situations where you may get scammed and other things can happen. And you become vulnerable. But if you just kind of go with the flow, go with the ebbs and flows of the ever-changing hobby, because it is just, and it's like a moving target. You can't just be like, oh, well, if I just get this doll, then I'm set. I won't want any more. It's never going to feel that way when that's your intention. It's very difficult for those collectors that go into it like, I just want this and I just want that, and then I'm done. It's impossible, because here's why. It's a great intention, but as you see the artistry evolve, and once you get the doll and you think you're going to be happy, there might be something about it that you're like, I could do better. So then you seek the next doll. And then you see like a new artist that came out and they have a doll that you just fall in love with. It totally takes you by surprise. There are so many things in this hobby that are unexpected, beautiful things that will come your way if you allow them to actually come your way. And that's what I mean by trusting the process. So I get so many questions on how can you just enjoy the dolls that you have. You showcase 2 dolls. I have more than 2 dolls, but I showcase the 2 dolls. I showcase Lola and I showcase Monroe. The reason why I can and have gotten to this place is that I was able to experience a lot of dolls, a lot of amazing dolls by the best top artists out there, the best of the best. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on a doll, not been happy. However, each doll that I was able to bring home and experience, it enabled me to grow further and understand what it is that I wanted and would want to seek out for my next purchase. And by carefully choosing dolls along the way and then selling them on when they weren't the right doll for me, it continued to fund that next doll for me. So when that opportunity came my way, I always had kind of a leg up because I had the funds waiting. And I've learned to do that over the years, and I continue to do that because I feel like that's the only way. That's really the only way to make those special dolls happen when they're available. Because the trick in this hobby is that you never know. You never know when that doll, that special, could be that absolute dream doll that you've been searching for your whole time collecting. You don't know when it's going to come your way. That's the crazy thing about this hobby. When I have least expected a doll to be available is when the doll became available. And it's happened several times. But I've also consistently, throughout my years of collecting, always put out the vibe that it will come. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to be upset about it if I don't get the doll that I want when I want it. Easier said than done, I know. But when I allow the dolls to come on their own and not stress about it, not worry about it, continue to enjoy what I have. And the key is enjoy what you have in the experience when you're having it. That's all part of the process. It's all part of learning to enjoy the hobby in the moment versus constantly always seeking the next thing, and not enjoying what you actually currently have. Because every doll is beautiful in its own way. I firmly believe that. Every doll I've had, it may not have been the doll I wanted at the time, but I enjoyed every single one of the dolls that entered into my collection. Okay, maybe with the exception of like a couple that literally opened the box, put the doll back in the box, and then the doll had to leave. It's just like, not for me. Bye-bye. Y'all never saw it on my YouTube channel. There were a couple of those. But that's, it's a rare thing. Like for the most part, I was always so happy to have what I had. It may not have had the right body style or body type, or maybe it was simply that I wanted a different medium. Like when silicone came out, like I was so leery and so stressed about, oh, there's going to be so much care involved, and I don't know if I want to get into that. But then once I realized I wanted that, I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, and that evolved, and that changed my way of collecting all over again. And being open to change as you're collecting, as your collection grows, as you're longer in the hobby, also very important part of the process. Like allow the change to happen. Just because you started off thinking this was what you wanted, it's fine if that changes. If you change your mind, it's okay. That's the fun of it. It's about learning, what else is out there that you maybe weren't aware of, or suddenly you're just like, wow, I didn't think that I would like, I don't know, bent legs. I always thought I wanted straight leg dolls. It could be as simple as I thought I would always want sleepers, and then suddenly I have this craving and really want an open-eyed doll because I need the interaction. It could be anything, but as long as you're good with change, and I'm a person who is not good with change, but in the doll hobby, I will safely say this: I have always allowed the change to happen. There are ebbs and flows and changes that allow us to experience more, enjoy more. Like, I'll tell you what, I was not a fan of sleepers, but in the early beginning part of my collecting, like the earliest part, I only wanted sleepers because that's what was predominantly out there. And that's where the most realism came from at the time. But now it's changed so differently at some point in time. And I don't even know when it happened, to be honest with you. It's when I had a large collection because I had some of both. Suddenly I realized I was leaning towards and really enjoying those open-eyed dolls more than I enjoyed the sleepers. So then I went through a phase of only open-eyed dolls, only. It's the only thing that kind of spoke to me. That's the only thing that I really bonded with. And then came Lola. You never know when it's going to happen. Like I never expected to fall in love with a sculpt like I did with the Laura sculpt. Never in a million years did I dream that that would happen. I thought I was done with close-eyed babies because every single one of them, I had to move them on. I just couldn't bond with them. And now I have Lola. She's changed that all over again for me. So I was open to it. I was a little leery because I'm like, gosh, what if I don't bond with this doll? But I had other dolls prior to Lola and of the Laura sculpt that you guys may or may not have seen because they were both shared on my channel. But I knew that I loved the sculpt enough, and I invested my money into one of the versions that I knew I would love, and I absolutely do. I love her. I love the realism. I love the fact that she's a sleeper, and I am able to enjoy a sleeper again that I thought I never would be able to do because I was open to it. And I knew if the timing was right, if it were the right circumstances, and that doll, Lola, came to me in a very surprising way, unexpected. I didn't expect her to come to me in the way she did and when she did. But I did not hesitate. I certainly did not, like, I didn't even think twice. I knew I wanted her. I just needed to make the money happen. And thank goodness I am able to do that. I'm very fortunate, like having the funds available to be able to bring home those special dolls when they do become available. It's key, because I'm so glad that I did. I'm so happy that I have her. But again, it goes back to trusting the process. And I think that every collector is different, and every process that every collector experiences is different. Your journey is different. Everyone's journey is different. But if you understand that with a hobby like this, it's meant to change, and maybe you never change, and that's okay too. Just being open to what comes your way is really, really key. I really believe this. What you put out, the energy you put out, I believe it is returned to you. And I believe that it's the same with dolls. I talk about this in many, many videos, that I believe that the energy that we put out is the energy we will receive. And I firmly believe it, and I've lived it, and I've watched it happen in all aspects of my life, especially in the doll world. People are just, how did you ever get that many opportunities? I think that I just believed it would happen, and enough people really got to know me, trusted I was a trustworthy buyer, trustworthy seller, all of that. And so the opportunities were easier to come my way because I had built my reputation. I'm always conscious and conscientious of the things I do in the hobby, because I feel it's very important to have a good reputation. And so you have to have those building blocks. You have to have a good foundation when you come into this hobby. You have to build a good reputation. That takes time. But I know that I have yet to be turned down if I want to buy a doll because I'm not trustworthy, because I've always made sure I was on the up and up. I've always disclosed things. Like you have to put everything in place. And the longer that you're in the hobby, the more things will happen in a positive way. But you have to do your homework. You have to protect yourself. You have to make sure that when you're selling, you're also being a forthright seller. And a good seller. It matters on both ends. That's how you build a good reputation, and that's how many dolls have come my way, because they knew it would be a simple, easy, seamless transaction when they sold their dolls. And so I had many opportunities that other collectors might not have, simply because they were lesser known. They didn't have a great reputation. It could be a number of things. But again, trusting the process is literally the underlying theme of my whole time collecting. That's it. You got to trust the process and do what you can to build a great reputation. Learn what you want to learn about the dolls. Enjoy the dolls when you have them. So say you don't have your dream doll yet. That's okay. That's okay. The dolls that lead you to your dream doll, like it took me almost 20 years, 18 years, 19 years before Monroe came my way. It didn't mean that I didn't really enjoy and really like a lot of the dolls that I had, but I knew they weren't my dream babies. I knew they didn't check all the boxes, but I knew eventually I would find that doll. Somehow I just knew, and now I have two that I feel are perfect dolls. And I'm so freaking fortunate for that. And I want that for every collector. I really do. Every collector deserves to have that dream baby that they've always wanted. But until you get to that dream baby, enjoy the ones you have. Try to enjoy the ones you have. Learn what you like, because every single doll you collect will bring you closer to a potential dream baby that you will hold on to for a long, long time. I never say forever babies. That's just not in my vocabulary, guys. It's just not. I just don't, just knowing too much about, the hobby, how I am, things that attract me. I just don't use that word, because I don't think anything is a forever thing anyways. They're collectibles. So it changes. But I will continue to enjoy this amazing baby and that other amazing baby that's hanging out in the nursery currently, because they are perfect to me. And that's all that matters is, what's perfect to you. But yeah, that's trusting the process. That's my thought on it. I've had lots of time to think about it over the years. and people are talking about it now, and people have reached out and asked me. That's one of the most common questions that I get is, how are you content with just 2 dolls? How are you content with that? Like, how, as a collector? Doesn't mean I don't vicariously live through my friends and in their joy for bringing home new dolls. In fact, I'm currently lucky enough to experience the joy of watching one of my friends bring home an amazing baby. Like, oh, I'm so fortunate that she is willing to share that amazing experience with me, because I can live vicariously through my friends and be so 100% excited about it. And it doesn't have to be my baby. But I am so freaking thrilled when I see other collectors that find those amazing, amazing dolls that make them swoon, that make their heart soar. Like, that's what this hobby is about. It's what's kept me here. It's what keeps me watching other collectors as they are on their journey. Like, I love lately seeing some of my friends bring home the cutest dolls. And I'm so lucky that I get to be a part of that, even if it's through watching them in video, or if I'm lucky enough to actually be a part of the experience and talking with my good friends, my close friends. Like, it's all, to me, it's what it's about. And it makes me love my dolls even more, if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. It probably doesn't. But it does truly. Watching others be happy, watching others open the box and go, oh my God, and the reactions, there's nothing like it. It makes me look at Monroe and go, oh, I love her. And I'm so lucky to have that feeling towards her. And I'm so happy that other collector gets that same feeling when they open the box and get a new baby, and it's special. It's just amazing, you guys. But I will wrap it up there because I'm more than 20 minutes in and I don't want to continue making this too long. But if you trust the process, I really do firmly believe the special baby will come your way. And you'll enjoy the journey. Even if you don't have that baby yet, you will enjoy every step of the way of that journey, which is also just, it's not about an end goal. It's not about having that, that's the end goal and then I'm good. It's about enjoying the journey on your way to whatever comes your way in the future. And that's kind of where I'm at. I firmly believe that I just continue being open. What comes my way will come my way. What's meant to be will be. The dolls that I'm supposed to have, that I'm meant to have, will be in my possession. And I'm going to enjoy every second that I have what I have. And that's just the joy of this hobby. It really is. So hopefully this is helpful information for those that reached out and asked. And those talking about it, I just trust the process. All good things come in this hobby, I'm telling you, all wonderful things. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. So I hope you're enjoying your Saturday, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this chat. Hopefully you enjoyed getting to see a little bit of Monroe, even though she's not being changed or anything. She's just enjoying some time with mommy. I'm very happy to spend some time with her because I had a bit of a rough week. But that's all good now. Made it to the weekend and now I get baby time. So I hope you guys enjoy your weekend and we will see you very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.